Ooh, my hat is not straight. Is it straight? It's straight. Cool. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for all the really nice comments and all the lovely things that you've all been saying over the last couple of days. It's been really great. It's making me feel really nice to have such nice positive people behind me, so thank you. And as, keeping with the positive mindset, I wanted to tell you a few of the stories that either I learned or heard while I was on the Indie Pack or that I've sort of learned since I quit. So I want to run you through a few of the really interesting people because they're all dots on a map to a lot of people, but there's so much more. So here's a few things. This dot, Juju. Her name is actually Juliana Buring, and she is one of the most impressive human beings on planet Earth. During the race, she took an anti-inflammatory that she didn't realize she was actually allergic to. So this is well onto the Nullarbor Plains. So she is like 1,000 kilometers into the race. She has this horrible allergic reaction, and she gets in a truck, gets driven back to Fremantle, has medical treatment, blood tests, all kind of stuff. They give her the okay to get back to riding. She doesn't go back to where she quit. She started the course again. So she started again. She said, I'm not here to not finish this race. So she's gone. She's gone right now. Get behind her. I'm also going to link to an article about her in the description below. She has one of the most unbelievable backstories I think I've ever heard. She grew up in this crazy, crazy religious cult, and she is the world record holder for solo female cycling around the world. She finished in the Transcon top 10. Amazing woman. Have a read. Please do yourself a favor. She's amazing. Okay, so let's talk about this dot, Paul R. Dill. He is 74 years old. 74 years old. There was this tiny dude at the start line, at the rider meetup, and I was like, that dude's tiny and really old. And he also has a meat mallet on his bike. And I asked him what the meat mallet was for, and he said for knocking in tent pegs. So he's got this little metal meat mallet because it's fairly light, but it's still metal, for him to knock in his tent pegs. 74 years old. He is still going. Literally, I just checked the tracker. He's about to cross the border from WA into South Australia. Paul, you're a legend. I don't care if it takes you a year to get to Sydney and finish this course. You are a fucking champion. And if he stays if he stays in the race as he's going to, he's going to beat me in a few days. He's going to get further than I did. So what a legend. Absolute legend. Alright, so check out this guy, Lockie Kavanagh, the youngest in the race, 18 years old. So just imagine trying to take this on as an 18-year-old. Pretty bloody intimidating. But he signed up for the race and then started riding a bike. I'm pretty sure he knew how to ride a bike already, but he wasn't a cyclist. He's just like, yeah, that's awesome. I'm gonna sign up and do it. And he did. He got given a bike. He had to learn how to use clip shoes for the first time. And he is still going. I think he's now getting close to where I abandoned. Amazing. 18-year-old kid with no real idea, no real experience, and he's just out there plugging away, getting it done. Legend. Lockie Kavanagh, you are a goddamn legend. I think it was on night 4 that I rode past a guy called Nick, and he was riding out of the saddle looking very, very, very sad and unhappy. So I asked him how he was going, and he had really terrible saddle sores. So he'd spent the whole day out of the saddle, and he kept going, and I saw him again a couple of days later, and I was like, how are you still going? And he said that he actually did try and abandon. He was in so much pain and having such a horrible time. He was on the Nullarbor and he tried to abandon. He's trying to flag down cars, but nobody had enough room to put him and his bike in. So he just got so frustrated that he abandoned his abandonment attempt and kept riding. And he's still going. And he's friggin' awesome. Go Nick. Okay, Vasiliki Vutsali. Okay. Vasiliki Vutsali is a Greek lady, and she is just absolutely, unbelievably deep in the Hurt Locker. So I met her while I was getting driven when I was hitchhiking down the course to come home, and pulled over on the side of the road and had a quick chat to her, and she's just standing like this, looking down. And she was saying that she literally cannot lift her head anymore. So she is just riding like looking directly in front of her. She's got such bad neck pain. Oh man, she is just pushing so hard. She's got so much grit. And another guy who I spoke to, Jan, a little bit up the road, was talking about her, and he said that twice she has woken up from a sleep and ridden the course in the wrong direction. One time she rode 75 kilometers the wrong way and then crashed. And it wasn't until she was like picking up her bike that she saw that her Garmin said that she was going the wrong direction. And she initially had this kind of freak out and went, shit, I need to get driven back to where 75k is to where I started, which technically is allowed because she's still going back to where she, like if she rejoins the course at the same place that she left it, then that would have been fine. But she flagged down a car and was going to get into it and then just goes, no, I can't do it. I'm going to ride. So she went back and did the other 75Ks and just kept going. Holy crap. And I think she had another incident where she went the wrong way again. I'm not sure how she got out of that one, but my God, like the suffering that this woman is going through is just staggering. So, wow, show us some love if you can. Okay, Ryan Flynn has had an absolutely astonishing race. So he rode really, really hard on day one, ran into some knee troubles, spent a little bit more time, I think, in Norseman, just kind of like trying to work through his problems. They were horrible. I passed him on the road and he was basically riding one-legged for hours and hours and hours. Poor guy. On the way to Nullarbor Roadhouse, he'd ridden so hard for the previous few days that he ran off the road, and on the side there's this really lush, slushy gravel. So he's so exhausted, he's gone off the road, just crashed. This is at night, so he just crashed at night. And he's just gone, screw it. And just like fallen asleep there, just on the side of the road. And the people who picked me up from Nullarbor Roadhouse and drove me to Port Augusta came across this, they were telling me they came across this guy in the middle of the night. It was Ryan. He was just lying on the side of the road next to his bike with like the lights still flashing, and they kind of pull up to him and were like, you okay, buddy? You okay? You alright? And yeah, he was alright. He was just sleeping where he crashed. He is now also riding with a stuffed eagle on his bike. Cause Ryan Flynn. Why not? Now, a really scary story is from a guy called Joe who I met, and he's in his bivvy on the side of the road at night, and he feels a little thing crawling up his body, and he's like, I don't like the feeling of that, and he got some light on it. Turns out it was a friggin' scorpion. He was sleeping on the side of the road, and a friggin' scorpion crawled up his body. There's a lady called Christy Hamilton who I met just before the race. She lives in Bright in Victoria. She used to weigh 150 kilos, okay? And she's decided to do the race. She doesn't weigh 150 kilos anymore. She's a lot smaller than that. And she just great. Like, I want to do the race. Super adventurous and super outdoorsy. So she's got this set up with like gigantic pannier bags and like 10 liters of water. And her plan, she's like, I don't care how long it takes. I don't care if I have to camp in the Nullarbor every night. She's got everything she needs to like sleep comfortably, plenty of storage for food, plenty of storage for water. She's not doing big days, but it doesn't matter. She's still out there. She's still riding. She's still awesome. Okay, so those are just like some of the mad ass stories that I've been hearing. I either heard them during the event or since the event. Man, these people, they're just amazing. It was a great pleasure to be a part of the race, and I'm still enjoying being around the race. You know, it's coming through Adelaide, there's riders trickling through, so it's been awesome, like, speaking to people and hearing their crazy stories. So I'll see if I can come up with some more for you. Thank you, see you next time, subscribe, all that sort of stuff. Thanks, guys.